JP Morgan, they are one of the most respected investment banks in the world. They're saying that BYD will be the third largest automaker in the world within an insanely short time frame. And we're looking at this is going to happen almost immediately. This is crazy. Hello, my friends. Welcome to the channel. I'm Sam Evans. You're watching the Electric Viking. Great to see you. BYD, their stratospheric rise has been absolutely mind-blowing. They're building new factories now in Hungary, Morocco, I believe Austria, also Turkey. They've got a Ford factory in Brazil. They've changed that to being obviously a BYD EV factory now. They're building a factory in Mexico. Thailand, they've got one there as well. I'm sure there's some that I've missed. China, they're everywhere in China. So BYD's rise has been insane. They're the only car manufacturer, as Chinese experts have just said within the last few days, the only car manufacturer in China making a profit selling EVs. JP Morgan says they'll be the third biggest car brand in the world by 2026. Within less than a year and a half, BYD will be the third biggest in the world. So guys, my prediction a couple of years ago saying BYD and Tesla would be the two biggest car brands in the world by 2030. Well, I think I got that wrong on Tesla, but I sure as hell got that right on BYD. There is no way known that Toyota will not be toppled from its perch as being the largest automaker in the world. Toyota have already admitted that their technology is way behind BYD's. I mean, they say that solid state batteries will save them, but the truth is, Toyota, what are they doing? They are moving to use BYD's hybrid technology. That tells you all you need to know. JP Morgan believes BYD's efforts to expand into global markets to work out how to get around the European taxes, they've obviously revealed their strategy for doing that, will see a key milestone in 2026 when full year deliveries will reach 6 million units. Now that would make them the third largest automaker in the world. How many years before they become the largest? Well, no one knows, but I predict 2030. That's what I said a couple of years ago. I'm sticking with it now. By 2026, BYD's global deliveries will reach 6 million units as per JP Morgan, with about 1.5 million of those in overseas markets, the rest in China. Is that realistic? Well, yeah. The Chinese car market is around 26 million cars a year, 26 to 28 million. For BYD to have, I think it's probably conservative to sell 4.5 million out of that percentage. Have a look at BYD's car market share in China now. I think BYD sales in China could be a fair bit higher than that by 2026. They're growing at an insane pace in China. It's just ridiculous. And their factory utilization rate is 82%. Tesla's is about pretty similar to that now in China. Everyone else is way below that number in terms of legacy automakers in China. Many of them are at about 20% factory utilization capacity, meaning demand for their vehicles has plummeted. This means BYD's share of the global light vehicle market will expand from 3% in 2023 to 7% in 2026, and its share of the new energy vehicle market, meaning plug-in hybrids and EVs, will remain at 22%. So this is really probably a conservative forecast by some analysts' reviews. Some analysts would say their growth, if it continues at its current trajectory, could be even higher. Now, the only part of this forecast which you can question is global deliveries of 1.5 million vehicles. Even though BYD is brilliant, and if you're watching the channel now, you've probably known about BYD for a while. To be honest though, when I first started this channel 3 years ago and I was talking about BYD, I would say almost no one had ever heard of them. But that's changed really quickly. That said, the average car buyer still has not heard of BYD. And really, BYD's marketing, it's very weird. They do things like sponsoring surfing events, I don't really know how that's going to get your brand into someone's consciousness of thinking, oh, instead of buying said legacy car, I'm going to buy a BYD because I went to a sporting event and the sponsor was BYD. I just don't think that's enough to get your brand to the West. The West, for example. I think what you need is a bit more education on why their products are better, and they are better. There's no question they're better, but more education is needed. So the question here is, can they sell 1.5 million vehicles outside of China in 2026? Well, yeah, I'm not sure on that. Will they eventually? Absolutely. Eventually, I think they'll be selling 5, 6, 7 million outside of China, but that could take 10 years from now, I think. In 2023, BYD delivered 3 million new energy vehicles, plug-in hybrids and EVs. That's an increase of 62.3% versus the previous year. So that would mean that within a space of 3 years, BYD will double its sales. Has BYD been able to do that in the past? Yep, they have. 2022 versus 2023 was about that increase. Now, if you have a look at it, the first half of this year, BYD has sold, well, only 1.6 million vehicles at 28.5% on last year. But considering the majority of BYD sales are in China, and the first 6 months of the year in China are quiet every single year, that's just the Chinese market, BYD are on track to sell about 3.5 million vehicles this year, possibly even 4 million. But it's still a big jump to go from 3.5 million to 6 million within 18 months' time from now. Do you think BYD can do it? Now, JP Morgan, obviously they've done their numbers, they've done some research on this, they've probably spent a lot of time and money looking at BYD's global movements, what they're doing, their Thailand, Indonesia plans, Brazil, Hungary, what they're doing in all these locations. And I think that JP Morgan are correct. I think this prediction of 6 million sales is probably going to be about right. Now, another car factory I didn't mention before, Indonesia, yeah, they're doing one there. BYD also announced the launch of production at its plant in Uzbekistan. Yeah, of course, they've got Thailand that's already in production for right-hand drive vehicles. So BYD are targeting right-hand drive places such as Australia, Japan as well, Malaysia, South Africa, New Zealand. Those locations, obviously, like I said, Thailand already, the Thai market's actually quite big as well. So BYD are planning on a complete global, basically global domination. And really, if you think about it, if you've got to be very concerned if you're one of their competitors. On the 8th of July, BYD signed an agreement with the Turkish government to invest $1 billion to build a factory in Turkey. Now, obviously, that factory will simply ship vehicles to Europe, and they won't have to pay taxes. They won't have to pay the 10% China tax, plus the additional 17.5% BYD tax, meaning a total tax of 27.5%. You can just wipe that away. That's a huge, huge advantage. Turkey is one of the automotive industry's gateways to the European market through the customs union and has signed free trade agreements with 23 European countries. Clearly, JP Morgan believe BYD will complete their overseas expansion through configuration or product rather than price. So JP Morgan is saying BYD does not have to be this super cheap car company. That's not what they are. They are value, but not budget. At the same time, JP said that while BYD's EV products can compete with all of their mass market overseas counterparts in terms of cost and features, establishing their brand abroad will not be easy. And so far, that's proven to be the case. For example, in Europe, BYD has struggled to really get sales momentum, whereas companies like MG, who are now going to be in massive strife considering their EV tax is about 47%, crazy. But MG have sold really well in Europe because brand recognition, right? People in Europe think that MG is a British brand, even though it's not. It's obviously owned by SAIC Motors in China. JP Morgan, though, are very bullish on BYD's expansion in global markets like Southeast Asia, Latin America, European Union, and Australia. The bank believes that overseas markets will be able to provide BYD with strong growth opportunities as well as extremely good margins, enable them to continue to invest, continue to grow. Look how aggressive they are. Look how fast they've grown. I don't think we've ever seen a big car company grow this fast. The last one was Tesla. That growth has slowed down. Tesla are focusing on artificial intelligence. Whilst Tesla do that, BYD is saying, thank you very much, Tesla. Thank you very much, everyone else. We are going to take as much of this market share as we possibly can. I believe BYD's price strategy that they've implemented in China, they will implement that outside of China. It's a matter of time. They will undercut other manufacturers on price. Doesn't matter what their prices are. That's what BYD will do, I believe. Why not? Why would you? If that's your pricing strategy, if that's got you to where you are today, they'll do that. Not on their uber luxury vehicles, but on everything else. That's what they'll do. And I don't think you can fight that. Consumers will just say, well, the value is there. And they won't be able to resist the temptation to buy a vehicle at much better value from BYD than from other automakers such as Volkswagen or Toyota, who are currently the two largest car companies in the world. But how long will they be? Well, Honestly, guys, I'll stand by my prediction. 2030, BYD will be bigger than Toyota and bigger than Volkswagen. Thanks for watching.